Hi, Hiram here. I had some questions about how I come up with the ideas for the different stoves. What kind of thoughts do I put into it? So I thought I'd give a little, just try to explain some of the stuff here. It might sound like a lot of rambling or whatever, but I'm sorry. I think you recognize these two stoves. This was Cottle Stove 1, Cottle Stove 2. Basically, they were for, I had these left over from some other little stoves that I made from the aluminum beer bottles, Cottles, whatever they call them. So I had these pieces left over, and I thought that might make an interesting stove. What can I do with it? So the first one you also remember these. These were those little burners that I made out of the Nivea cans. Come to find out that the bottom of the Nivea can fits on these perfectly. I mean, it just goes right in there. Makes a perfect little bottom. So with that, I made the Cottle Stove 1, where I used a bit of the neck coming down. Now the first one I didn't have holes in it and it didn't work. So then I put fairly large holes in the bottom and it burned pretty well. It's just the Nivea can just put on here. But then I cut that down a little bit, put smaller holes down at the bottom and made the Cottle Stove 2, which burned pretty good. But it didn't have much capacity for the fuel. So I was trying different ideas. I got a tea light, put it in there, but I mean it fits, but it's kind of bulky, icky. So I just wanted something so I could put more fuel in. So I looked around in my stash of cans and stuff, and I had this little bottle. It's a little aluminum bottle. Tried it and it just turned out it fits in this perfectly. It fits into the lid of that perfectly. But then I thought, I only have one can of this. I don't think I can find more. I haven't been able to find any more since I got this one. So it means it would be something that I couldn't duplicate. Then I remembered the axe stove. Remember this one where I had a bolt going down through the top? Yeah, I'd fill it up here, put a bolt in, and then these little holes in here I'd use for burning. Well, I cut the top off, put 8 3/8 inch holes around the top, and it just happened, I found out before, it just happened that it fits in this quite snugly. So I cut myself another Cottle top. Now it's been pushed in and out so many times it's loose now, but it was nice and tight to begin with. So my idea was that I put the alcohol in this and the air goes into the holes. But if I put it in this, the air would go up through the side, warm up and go in, and form a little stove that way. So that was pretty cool. But then I remembered that several different guys, R.J. Berg and some others, like to change the stove so it simmers. And I thought one way I could do that with this one is to regulate the air. First I was just going to drill holes along the bottom of this so that it could just set on the ground or the table and suck in air. Be a nice firm thing. But I couldn't think of any easy way to regulate the air. So I cut out another one with another bottle. These are all the same size bottles. Your small Old Spice, this shaping spray. This is the taller one which I used in here. I think these are, what, 1.25 inch diameter? Hang on. Well, 1.37 inches, a little more than 1.25 inches, about 1 1/3 inches in diameter. So you can find these kind of bottles at a lot of places. Put that in there. And then I was trying to think, how can I regulate the air? So I remembered the bottoms, the Nivea bottoms that go on there real nice. And what I did was I drilled 2 sets of holes, one on a piece of metal that I epoxied to the bottom of the bottle. And the Nivea can, I drilled the same set of holes, patterns that I did up on my CAD system. So that when you put this on, I don't know if you can see it, but the holes are wide open. And if you turn it a little bit, then the holes get restricted. Wide open, flow, restricted. And I marked it on the side that when these 2 lines are in line, it's a full flow. And anything up to the one side or the other restricts the airflow. So what happens is the air goes up, and on the bottom, I elevated that can bottom with another piece of bottle with holes in it so that it can set on a table or on the ground. The air will suck in, suck up through the top, and be controlled by that little fin thing. So that shows you, you know, my latest, I guess this will be Cottle Stove 3. I haven't flamed this one up yet. I'm going to do that in the next test just to see what it does at full air. This will hold, I like to start them off big because then you can always tone them down. I just want to see what it'll do. This will hold, I think it was 1.5 ounces of fuel before it gets up to the holes inside. So, the other thing is, if you didn't want to use these, it's conceivable you could use the tops. After you cut it off, you have little pieces like this. You could get bottle caps, put them on there, epoxy them shut, and put them in the tops just like that. So you could use the same bottle to make the whole thing if you wanted. Now, it wouldn't hold as much alcohol, but maybe it doesn't need that much. I'll soon find out. But just by closing this off, you could use the same bottle and 1 Nivea can to make yourself a little Cottle stove. Okay. I think I rambled on enough here with this, so I'm going to stop this now and start a new tape and try a burn test with it wide open with 1/2 ounce of alcohol to begin with, denatured alcohol. So let me stop this tape, I'll put in a new one, and be right back with you. As always, thanks for watching. I look forward to your input, questions, remarks, whatever, help, and watch for Max the dog. Bye now.